So I want to talk about a couple of things. The first one is I've been thinking about this for quite a while. It's not meant for some of us to thrive, to be successful in duality. Oh yeah, let me address this. Somebody thought, I don't know if they thought that I deleted their comment, but they just left a comment saying that quote unquote, I see that my comment was deleted. And I don't delete comments. When I before I upload my videos, I go to this section where the comments for the comments, and I choose the option to allow all comments. And for some reason, because before they were being held for review, and I didn't know that what was going on because I never really selected any options. I just thought that comments were allowed. But then I would look into the YouTube studio and I see a whole bunch of comments in the YouTube studio from a bunch of videos that just wasn't showing up. And so on all of my videos, I choose allow all comments. And I guess for some reason it gets erased anyway. But you know what now? Some people, this is what I realized, and this is why I'm getting on duality right now. Some people, even in the comments, and I know my channel is shadow banned. I mean, I get it. I know I don't have a channel like Lovely Tea or and I don't mean celebrity gossip. I'm talking about more of a professional channel. I'm not talking about as specifically what they are talking about. But I know I don't have a channel where I put the work in and get all the equipment to make a successful channel. And I get all of that, but at the same time, I know this channel is still shadow banned. I just know it is. And I'm not going to fight for it to be unshadow banned because we're living in a world where people don't really appreciate the truth anyway. I'm not going to really fight for it not to be shadow banned if people don't really care about... it's not even critical thinking. People don't care about spirit at all. People don't care about intuition at all. And this is, I mean, literally, it's a valley of dry bones. I mean, this is a valley of dry bones. Okay, like it's a bunch of skeletons, and so I'm not going to fight to get a bunch of attention from people who are dead. And that's the reason why I just don't. So I just want to address that really quickly. I'm not deleting comments. If I delete a comment, I probably read something that was extremely disrespectful, and I won't allow that vibration on the page. I mean, you take that somewhere else. But I haven't read that on this channel. I haven't seen nothing like that, I used to get bots a few years ago that talking about some little girls and stuff like that. I could tell those were bots. They weren't even real people. But anyway... those comments haven't been comments, so maybe YouTube is stopping those type of comments from coming under people's videos. But I'm going to get into this. Why duality? Some of us aren't meant to thrive in duality. Some of us aren't meant to thrive in duality. It's just what it is. Some people wonder why they can't have the success other folks have. People give out all this great advice. Well, do this and do this and do this and do this. Well, if you want this, you got to do that. No, you have certain people who seem to do well and do all kinds of stuff to other folks, and it seems like nothing comes back to them. People keep talking about karma. Ain't no karma going to come back to nobody in duality. It's not going to happen. Karma is not going to come back to somebody else in duality. Now, you might see certain things return back to folks, but if you're really talking about karma coming back to somebody after they do somebody else wrong, then it should have been happening to a lot of folks that are running the show. And I'm talking about the people that's running the show that you don't even see, because a lot of them are dark-skinned people. I'm talking about him. Let me say, something came to me like, who do you really think humanity is? Do you think humanity is people that you really see with your physical eyes? Do you think that's what humanity is? Who is the real humanity? Humanity might be the people that is using some of our life force to keep this crap going. That could be the humanity. Humanity might not be the people that we see every day, because a lot of the people that we see every day are merely just programs that don't even exist any other way but outside of a computer. They don't exist any other way. I don't think they're the humanity. I think humanity is what's unseen, and those who are controlling things and manipulating stuff, kind of controlling the simulation and manipulating things so they can continue to have their fun, and so they say stuff won't be over. I'm feeling like that might be the humanity. It's what we don't see. Anyway, it's not meant for me to do well in duality. Because what is duality? So I like to look up definitions. Duality for me is not a good thing. For some people it's a good thing. It's going to be subjective. For me, it's not meant for me to do well in duality. It's not meant for me to get married. Not in this particular lifetime of duality, no. In previous lifetimes of duality, I got married and had children. This lifetime is meant for duality to be done. That's why I put up a previous upload saying it's time to choose a side. You can't be in the middle. Like people like Jay-Z and people like maybe Beyonce and some other people that's highly into whatever and they do well in duality. This works for them. But it don't work for other folks who it's not meant for it to work for. If it's not meant for it to work for you, it's not going to work for you. I couldn't even use like some of the entities that people call themselves using. All these entities that you've heard people talk about over the internet, I cannot use any one of them. None of them will work for me. They will not. That's what I'm saying. This is not the realm for me. That realm works for some people, but it does not work for me. And it's not me even being judgmental. It's just obvious. It's been shown. It does not work for me at all. It just don't work for everybody. Everybody's not meant. Some people are purposely not doing well in a realm like duality because this is not their home. For some people, this could be their home. Okay, so those, whatever they're using, could be used to them, could be familiar with them. This ain't your home, so you might be unfamiliar to them. But anyway, duality. An instance of opposition or contrast between two concepts or two aspects of something, a dualism. This is just a little sentence to describe it. The photographs capitalize on the dualities of light and dark, stillness and movement. That was just a little sentence. Okay. It's like the opposite end. So, first came the great mother, the cosmic mother. And to be honest with you, there was an organic matrix. I mean, the matrix might not be the right term. I'm starting to realize whatever we're told, these words, it might not be what it really is. But I'm going to use the words that people are familiar with. So once upon a time, there was an organic matrix, and in my opinion, it's not going to be my opinion. What I'm feeling like, it's not an opinion. It's just information that I get. There were beings that came before a matrix was put in place and probably something happened. Okay, let me see. So the great mother was perfect. The cosmic mother, perfect. She decided to come and experience herself. To experience some level of imperfection. Okay, but there was still an organic matrix that was in place. Everything was perfect, seemed like, and she wanted to experience more of herself. She wanted to experience the flaws of herself, probably for the purpose of coming back, and although she was perfect, probably to be even better than that, if there's anything better than that. But she wanted to experience herself. And she broke herself off into like several aspects of herself. All of us are really aspects of the great mother, even the father. Because before the father came, there was a mother. There was no father before the mother. So where did the father have to come from? It come from her coming down and her, basically her descension to experience herself. It got this low. And all of this is really an aspect of the great mother. Okay? But I want to say this. Once upon a time, there was an organic matrix. And then something happened where the masculine was created. We want the masculine. That is duality right there. This is just what came to me. Anybody else can disagree, that is fine, because maybe it's in the book somewhere, but if you read it in the book, then you're going to have to see where did they get that from too. If the same thing I'm saying is in the book somewhere, then you have to still question where they got their information from. It's always best to just have intuition on your own. It's always best, because the reading something is not going to do any good if you don't know for sure. That's just what it is, And so, so duality started with the masculine because, and it has not, here's the thing, it has nothing to do with what masculine is not about masculine is not about what physically looks like a man and what physically looks like a woman. because there are women who are completely against anything feminine. And when I talk about feminine, I'm not talking about high heels and lipstick and having your hair done and being soft. I'm talking about the real divine feminine. There's a lot of people who look like some physical women that is completely against that, and they really try to kill off other women who are in alignment, who are more likely to be more in alignment with the divine feminine. You have other women trying to kill them off more than men trying to kill them off. So that's what I'm saying. So being feminine and masculine is not about what physically looks like a woman and what physically looks like a man. What you see what's supposed to be physical is just a physical representation of the spiritual father and the spiritual mother. But being a physical man has nothing to do with this duality and this masculine. Because it's a lot of women and that are completely against the divine feminine. Okay, but anyway, so what I'm talking about the masculine, the God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit, which started before Christianity. It came way before that. You know, the stuff came from Egypt, and what they did is this patriarchal religions, they really copied off of the matriarchal goddesses. Well, I don't like the word goddesses. I mean, because goddesses mean you're lesser than the man. I don't like the ESs, but anyway, that's how people know the words. The patriarchal religions and a lot of the whatever the figures that are in patriarchal religions are a copy from the matriarchy. Okay, and so anyway, we got into duality with that. Seems like with the masculine, you got into duality. And so anyway, just to say that for some of us, duality does not work because we're not meant to thrive. I mean, we could have been successful in some of our incarnations in duality because it wasn't time for it to be over with yet. I'm feeling strongly it's time for duality to really be over pretty soon. And you're going to see it in real time where things are going to shift. Duality is going to be done. And so for some of us in this particular life, we are not going to be successful as long as our heart is in duality. As long as our heart is in duality, which I call, for me, duality is Babylon. Honestly, people think Babylon, I hear people in Africa talking about the Western world is Babylon. Like Africa don't feed into Babylon type of things. Okay, but to me, I feel like the masculine duality is Babylon. I mean, it's not about being in a physical location. I feel like it has to do with the heart, and I feel like duality is Babylon. That's it. Because they want to act like stuff started with the white man. That's the problem I have with the dark races, is dark peoples around the world, is they think that the Babylon started with a white man. It started before the white man. And that's why they want to put Babylon on the Western culture, because that's the European people. I'm like, no, it started before the white man. Why can't you look at people who look like your complexion and blame them for the reason that you are where you are? I don't care if you African, I don't care if they Jamaican, I don't care who they are. Everything seems to be put on this white man, a European. But anyway, so for some of us, we ain't meant to do well in duality because we didn't start with duality. Some people started with duality. Some people, that's where they started, and so they do well because that's where they started. That's who they are. Some of us came before, and we might have been successful in prior incarnations when we kept coming back and being recycled, thinking that the ones that came before us are our ancestors, but we really the ancestors because everybody just been recycled. Everybody just being recycled. Okay. During this time, some of us are going to be losing folks. We're going to lose family. We're going to feel like everybody quitting us. We're going to feel like, everything is just, because it's time to get duality out of some of our hearts. And some people are just going to go along with duality because that's who they are. And it's no judgment in that. I can't judge who they are. They can't help who they are. If they were creating duality and they don't know nothing other than that, how can I judge them when they can't help who they are? They can't help it. But anyway, that's all I want to say. I want to say this before I go too. Some of us, it's time for us to create our own. I get that we still pay taxes. I get that, it's still a form of slavery, and it's still, even if you have your own business, it might be hard. But listen. sometimes it comes a time where nobody's going to respect your worth the way you feel like your worth should be respected. And at this point in my life, I'm no longer going to take less. Because for the most part, a lot of us, when we work places, we know that we are worth more than what they give us. But a lot of times people don't give us what we're worth. And you even see that with actors and actresses. People are not necessarily going to pay you what you feel like you are worth. And so you have to spend your life taking less than you are actually worth because other people don't want to pay your worth. And for me, I'm at a place in my life where it's time to create my own. If you don't have, for me, I'm talking about if I don't have the wherewithal, get the wherewithal. Work on getting the wherewithal to have responsibility for the extra paperwork that's going to come in play, and the extra taxes and the extra stuff that I'm going to have to file that's going to come into play with me creating my own. Not for me to hire other people, just for me to give myself what I know I'm worth. For me to give myself what I know I'm worth. Because I'm not going to continually do this to myself and continually cheat myself. And that's self-hate. I mean, when you get to it, it's self-hate. It is like, well, I know I'm worth more than that. This is what they pay me. I'm not going to find anybody else that's going to do better by me, so I got to deal with this. That's fine for a little while for some people, but for me, that's not okay anymore, because I'm at a place where I can do better. Before, I was taking that because I was not at a place psychologically and spiritually where I can do better. Now I'm getting to a place where psychologically, spiritually, emotionally, physically, I can do better. So it's no reason for me to continue to allow myself to be cheated, because now I'm getting too far into self-hate. I get too far into self-hate with that. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. Like, for instance, like I was supposed to evaluate somebody. I'm with this home health agency, and I was supposed to go do an occupational therapy evaluation. I called them, I scheduled the time for me to come out there. I show up to their house, I knock on the door 5 to 10 minutes, they don't answer. I call, leave text messages, I took a picture of their house to make sure I was at the right place. They ain't gave me nothing. They ain't answer. Then I actually sent the doggone patient back to the home health agency. I said, well, they refused. They refused. I'm not even going to try to, I don't want to reschedule. They refused. They didn't answer me. I even took a picture of their house to make sure I was at the right place. They ain't answering. But nobody apologizes to me to say, oh, I'm sorry that you had to go out there and it was a complete, because see, I don't get compensated for wasting my time like that. These people stood me up, and I don't get compensated for wasting my time. They probably was at home and did not want to answer the door because I saw a car in the driveway. That don't always mean the people are home, but at the same time, somebody else is supposed to show up like 30 minutes after I was supposed to be there. So I'm pretty sure somebody was home, and I get the feeling they chose not to answer. And there is no apologies. There's no compensation. At the very least, an apology would do just fine. And I don't get that. And so for that reason, this is why this is no longer going to work. See, for me, if I have my own company and I show up at somebody else's house and they don't answer, well, that's fine with me because it's my company. It's me. But see, this is the disrespect. That even the company don't say, well, we sorry that you had to waste your time like that, because it took 15 minutes to drive out there and that was my time. It was wasted. Nobody gives a darn. Nobody cares. And obviously, I'm not going to be compensated for wasting my time, because they're not going to be compensated for me wasting my time, because they get paid off of my visits, and so they're not going to compensate me either. And this is what I'm talking about, the constant disrespect towards my fucking energy. And I'm not dealing with that anymore. So I'm saying this now. There is no compensation. There is no apologies for me wasting my time. So I cannot see this person anymore. Anytime somebody do that and I constantly contact them and I don't hear nothing back from them, then I'm going to say, well, I can't, there's no compensation. And at the very least, there should have been an apology for me to waste my darn time. You care more about the patient being angry about their services, but then you don't care about me wasting my fucking time, freaking time, whatever. YouTube like to act like they're so righteous when it comes to language, but they don't care about child trafficking, whatever. And so I was like, I'm tired of my energy not being respected. And so it has to start with me respecting myself. And self-respect, it starts with, let them be angry with you. Stop being likable. Sometimes, yeah, you got to pick and choose your battles. I get that. But it comes a time where you have to stop being so likable. Because, yeah, this is a company. You don't want to rub them the wrong way. But at the same time, when you are disrespected, you can't allow somebody to continue to disrespect your energy like that. Like, it comes a time where I'm at a place where I can say, if you decide to get rid of me, fine. I'm tired of worrying about burning some doggone bridges because I can't keep being disrespected. So I'm tired of worrying about burning some freaking bridges because I want my fucking energy to be I want my energy to be respected. That I got to worry about burning bridges. And I get it. You have to put up with it. You put up with it to a point where you get at a place where you can move. You can do better if they decide not to deal with you no more. But I can't deal with you not giving a darn how my time was wasted. You don't respect my time, and I got to worry about being so likable that I said, oh, okay, but I can try again to see them. I got to worry about being so likable to the point where I disrespect myself. I can no longer do that to myself because when I do that, I vex my own soul. Is that what I'm trying to say? I think I'm saying the word right. Vex. I vex my own soul. My soul becomes vexed when I have to acquiesce to somebody else to not to rock the boat, to not to care I don't burn any bridges with them. I gotta continue to vex my own soul. I ain't doing that no more. But anyway, that's it, and I will talk later.